Got an idea for a podcast and think you have the talent to make it a reality? Already have a podcast but thinking you could take it up a notch, but you're just not sure how to do it? Well, Toxic Entertainment has everything you need to go from podcasting to podcasting. Bring us your talent, your passion, and your best ideas. We'll bring to the table our state-of-the-art technology and comfortable facility, creative and professional staff dedicated to bringing your ideas to life, competitively priced packages to suit your goals and budget, and over 10 years of experience as a leader in the podcasting field. Toxic Entertainment offers quality and affordability that can't be beat. When you're ready to start your journey, Toxic Entertainment is here to help you reach your destination. Learn more at toxicentertainment.net or call 888-66-TOXIC to arrange a studio tour. That's 888-66-86942. Toxic Entertainment, where creativity meets passion.
Hey, buddy. Rah. Hey, man, that's a sweet heavy metal happy hour t-shirt. Where'd you pick that up?
Thanks, dude. I got it at the Toxic Radio shop.
Toxic Radio has a shop?
Yeah, dude. It's in the app or online at toxicradio.net.
That is sweet.
Yeah, and I also got a rockin' Toxic Radio hoodie and a Red Band Underground shirt. Dude, I'm gonna look so rockin' at the party tomorrow.
Well, I think you look pretty now.
Oh, wait, what?
The Toxic Radio shop is a place to get all your Toxic Radio gear. Shirts, hoodies, stickers. Find it at toxicradio.net or on the app. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. Hey, where you going, man?
Welcome to Paradelphia Radio. I know what you're thinking. I'm going to say this is Rick Pruitt, but it is not. This is Doug Hogate Jr. I am filling in for Rick, even though I'm usually on his side. But unfortunately, Rick is not with us tonight, so I'm going to be taking over this captain's chair. Rick, just give a little short, quick update. Rick, he's been feeling a little under the weather lately. But we definitely hope to have him back here as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I'm going to be kind of taking things over for him the next couple of weeks until he can get back to us. So for all you Rick fans out there and for all those that think I'm the annoying sidekick, you'll have to deal with me for a little bit. But keep listening. We're going to keep going. So, all his hard work that he's put into the show, we definitely want to keep it going for him. And, Rick, like I said, we all love you to death, man. And we're pulling through for you. And we're pulling for you. So get back here soon because there's only so much talking to myself I can do. As you know, I can talk pretty much, but not to myself, at least in public places. But anyway, with that being said, like I said, I do know I have Toxic Mike over there to help me too, even though sometimes when he gets into a conversation, he rolls his eyes with me sometimes too, but it's okay. He has to anyway. It's his show, or studio, I should say. But anyway, but like I said, I'm going to, tonight, just going to, spend the next hour here doing some paranormal news and whatnot. And then next week, I know Jenna and I believe Gene hopefully will be joining me here in studio. They've been, of course, with the holidays coming up and everything, we're all pretty busy. But again, we're going to try hold ourselves a nice little Christmas special next week. So I'll definitely have to work hard so I can get us one of the ones that Rick usually does good. But like I said, I'm hoping to, feeling good. It's nice and easy when you're talking to somebody. But like I said, we'll get through it. But anyway, so to get things started, I do want to share something that's pretty interesting before I get to the news. So as you guys all know, I am into the whole paranormal investigating thing, with jumps. And, ever since the pandemic had started, we haven't really been busy. I mean, people are home a lot. So, and I've always had this theory ever since this whole COVID-19 stuff started, as to I wonder if activity seems to be picking up for people because they're home more and they have more of an opportunity to experience things, or if because they're home, spirits who I don't want to hide out, if they just hide out and they don't do as much. But actually, I'm going to get to a story here in a little bit that actually kind of answers that question. But with that being said, we're Melly and I. You remember Melly? She's been on the show, and she should be joining us here in the next couple weeks. Also, where we live in a house, but we live like it's a what is it called? It's like a duplex. We live on the downstairs, and our neighbor upstairs, she actually reached out to me, and I had no idea. I kind of had an idea because she was like posting things on Facebook about how lately things have been happening. Things have been kind of things that she can't really quite explain, and then I just get this random text message from her about, I think it's been about a week or two ago, actually asking to investigate. Now, one thing that they don't say when you get into this line of work is you don't investigate your own house. However, I think we're going to go ahead and move forward with it for the simple fact that, yes, it is under the same roof, but it's a whole different apartment. And, of course, you want to help a neighbor out and everything. But I think I'm going to kind of go against the rule that you kind of have, and we're going to go ahead and investigate. Now, I'm definitely sure to keep everybody posted with that because, excuse me, I do have an update that I got to give everyone on our investigation that we did at a business in Elmer a few weeks ago, where we had some pretty interesting things happen. Especially it's the fact of, as a confidentiality, I can't really share much about the location, the business and whatnot. But let's just say it's a business with majority of, men who guys are always talking about how tough they are, but these guys do not want to be in this building at night. So they literally run scared and even thought it was crazy for us to be there at night. But we did investigate a few weeks ago, and just about done reviewing that evidence. But once I'm done that, I definitely want to share with everybody because it's an interesting case, just for the simple fact of the history and all that with it. So I'd definitely think everyone's going to be interested in this, especially with what's happened there, because I will say one thing that did occur during that investigation. It's not really happened much in all my years doing this. We had a phantom smell occur, which, for those of you who don't know what a phantom smell is, when you're doing an investigation and all of a sudden this random smell occurs. Now, some people I know right away, they're thinking, like, is it something nasty somebody might have caused? Some nasty smell, but it wasn't nasty. It was like this, like a perfume type smell. And of course, when you're investigating, we look for all sources. We look to see, okay, is it some kind of air freshener and whatnot? We spent all but probably a good 30, 45 minutes trying to find a source and just couldn't find it. And it didn't happen anymore. Now, again, there are things that go with that I will share, but the reason I'm sharing it right now is because, again, I find it interesting. It's never really happened to me in the past on an investigation, and it's something that rarely happens. So, just kind of like a little precursor of what's to talk about with that, and I'll have those updates. Hopefully, maybe by next week, I'll be able to share that. So, but anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into these news stories that I have. So, yes, I see somebody, when he farts. That's the first thing I thought when I started explaining that, is somebody thinking like, oh, okay, somebody must have farted. But if that was a fart, it was a pretty good smelling fart. It wasn't me, and I was with two other women there, and you know how a lot of women are. They don't fart, but each his own. So, anyway, I'll have more on that, like I said. So anyway, I want to get into the news now here. So, all right. So for this first one, now we all know who Elon Musk is. And Mike, actually, if you'd love to jump in during these stories, I always like your intake on this. So back there in the, behind the thing. So
Michael's great. I like Michael.
This is Michael.
Michael.
Mike.
Michael. 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 Michael.
I love that. And it's funny because you have the fart back there. That was perfect with what I just talked about.
That was premiered the first time on this show, so that was the premiere
Oh
of that
my
little
God.
mic intro that our own Super Dave put together.
Right.
I thought you would appreciate that. That's why I didn't tell you about it.
No, I would. That's great. Well, no, I usually Rick and I go back, but I always like your skepticism in the story, so that's why
You like my skepticism?
I do.
Oh,
Because
I appreciate that.
I mean, I like to have conversation with myself, so I like to make fun of you after the fact. So, it's just figured why not have you come in.
there you go. I appreciate that.
So,
Talk to yourself while I'm here.
right. Oh God, if only people knew the thoughts that go through my head half the time.
Ooh.
Mm.
That's a whole new series of podcasts that
I'm
could go on.
thinking maybe it ought to be a show called Doug's Thoughts.
Inside Doug's head. I like that.
But see, my case, I'd sit here and just go for an hour.
Just look around.
Just look around.
Just eyeball everything around you.
Is he going to say something? Like, all right, thanks for listening.
The
Now,
most soothing podcast ever. Just listen to your own thoughts.
looking on camera and me going, Anyway. All right, so now you know who Elon Musk is.
Yes, I know
All right.
that gentleman. Yes.
Elon Musk, for those who don't know, living under a rock, he's the guy
Yes.
that supposedly pretty much wants to take over NASA or has taken over NASA.
Yes, he's a big mogul, a lot of money, loves electric cars, and is a zaddy. Yes.
In fact, doesn't he have a Tesla floating off into space? Did you know that?
I don't know if he has a Tesla.
I don't know.
I know he has a Tesla.
Or Tesla, wow. Tesla. This is why I'm the co-host. Anyway,
Tesla.
Tesla. All right,
Yes.
so, but yeah, he shot that up. I think that was like his first mission was to shoot it up with a astronaut in it and playing Rocket Man. I wonder if it's still playing, like,
Probably.
passing Uranus with Rocket Man playing.
Passing your anus with Rocket Man playing.
It's the
That
first
is-
planet I think of all the time.
I would think that that's going to be your next album when you start a band.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
If that's not the name of the band.
Oh.
Uranus is.
So
Anyway.
what about him?
All right, Elon Musk, he's going to start testing chips in humans' brains next year.
I thought that this was already a thing.
No,
It's not already a thing?
Let me tell you something. Everybody wants to do tests on human brain, but he's going to get into it. So it says his company Neuralink is set to begin testing its brain-computer interface chips within a few months. Having previously been described by Musk as an answer to the existential threat of an artificial intelligence surpassing our own capabilities, Neuralink's work in enabling people to control computers using nothing but their own thoughts has certainly raised a few eyebrows in recent years. At a glance, it may seem like an unnecessary exercise and dabbling a bit too far beyond the line that most people are likely to feel comfortable with. However, it does have the potential to make great strides in improving the lives of those with a variety of debilitating medical conditions ranging from locked-in syndrome to paralysis. It could also make it possible to enhance the human condition, providing powers that could range from superior vision to the ability to replay memories inside one's own head. So far, Neuralink's chips have only been tested in animals. However, Musk recently hinted that human testing is likely to begin as early as next year. So it's one thing they started doing this in animals.
Well,
To think you have an animal that has like superhuman strength, and that's how Planet of the Apes start.
Well, it's funny you say that
Yeah.
because on as you're talking about this, I looked it up, and on Insider, on BusinessInsider.com, it says Musk says Neuralink's working well in monkeys.
Right.
We're actually doing just a lot of testing and just confirming that it's very safe and reliable. The Neuralink device can be removed safely. So they're testing this in monkeys, and it's working. And I mean, you take this and you couple it with, I mean, I think you know, Doug, that Facebook's new parent company's name is Meta.
Yes.
Because Zuckerberg is looking into the metaverse as the future of interaction. They look at it as Web3, the new iteration of websites and the internet, where it's not now. It's not going to be just a flat screen in front of your face. It's now going to be a AR and VR experience.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now not only do you take it a step further from just AR and VR, but now you've got chips in your head, where everything in AR VR is very similar to Ready Player One, and the ability to see, touch, feel, smell, and communicate with each other, but now being able to, use your brain, your thought process, more so like a controller to interact with this kind of stuff is next level.
Oh yeah. In fact, back in April, my son, we got him an Oculus. Now I've heard about the Oculus. I've seen videos on YouTube, but I actually, tried it out. And when I tell you, I mean, I know you. I think you've talked about you have an Oculus. You have 3 of them.
I have 3.
Okay, well, so you know all about it. But I'm telling you, it is neat. Like while I was doing this bar fight game where like you literally bend down. I mean, I was like running into things like trying to swing and whatnot. But the fact that you take video games just like you said from a controller to where in this case it's virtual reality. You're putting it on your face. You're putting things in your hands, but it's going to eliminate that to where your own thoughts, like Ready Player One is one of the greatest movies because that's definitely the future.
Me and Rick, and I'm trying to find the video. It's very creepy, but also very telling of where this technology can take us. I got a mother-daughter because what this here it is. And I'm gonna bring this up on the screen, and I'll kind of explain it for everybody that's listening and not watching. But in this VR experience, what they did was this woman, her daughter had passed away years ago, and they took footage and pictures and video of her daughter and legitimately put it into a VR experience. Where all of a sudden, in this VR experience, she is able to interact and play with her daughter who had passed.
That must have been a week I wasn't here because that's
and
wow.
What they did was they, with the technology nowadays, I mean, you can't put the daughter's thoughts and everything, but you can put her mannerisms and
sure. Yeah.
All you got to do is talk to family members to find out what she was like and how playful and how this and how that. And they were actually able to create this VR experience. And looking at it is just creepy, but also it just shows you what they can do. And in your world, the world of paranormal, I mean, electronics is a huge way that the other side communicates.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I have read a lot of different things. I mean, of course, technology in this field's they're always trying to find ways to be able to see through that realm, see through that other dimension in a sense that they say that spirits, exist in. And I mean, the difference between all of this is you're taking, in this sense, someone who was living, as you said, they're living, they could take your animals, but, perfect example. Look at, like, the Fast and the Furious movies. You had Paul Walker, who passed away during the making of one of them. There's so many now. But they were literally, like, able to take just the computerized image of him and put him into that movie on little bits and pieces, so it's like you didn't even know that wasn't really him being filmed right there. So when, like you said, we already have things, of course, like, the infrared, and we have just all different types that, full spectrum and whatnot that we use. But I still believe on that kind of thing, we're still a long way away of being able to just say, like, oh, spirits, do they really exist? Are we really communicating with them? To actually say, like, oh, yeah, we're physically on our way to being able to associate ourselves with them like that. But that right there is, I don't know if it's creepy or if it's something that is good. I mean, I kind of have mixed emotions about it, but that's incredible.
At the same token, though, I mean, we've seen, it's kind of comical, but it's of the same realm,
right?
Them putting holograms on stage like Tupac or like Michael Jackson, and the joke was, would you go watch a hologram perform live? But when you've got this mixture of AR and VR, and then again coupled with the fact that they can start putting these implants in our actual body that can then maybe project it right from our eye sockets.
Right, we don't even need to wear we don't even have to wear any device. We could have that person in a sense with us. We might be the only one, or who knows? I mean, it's endless of what the possibilities are. But
I've always wondered, and talking about this kind of stuff, because this is very futuristic stuff.
Absolutely.
We're not getting our flying cars or our hoverboards, which I'm very pissed about.
Oh my God, was it yesterday or the day before? I was talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody about like the rideshare they have. I was reading another article talking about that they were looking into creating self-driven cars for rideshare. And it was almost like, would you feel comfortable having a vehicle pick you up to take you somewhere that no one was physically driving?
They already have
that.
Are
they driving?
They have that in Vegas.
Do they really?
In Vegas, they have a certain path.
I'm so behind.
So what they're doing is, I think it's from like an airport or a train station,
right?
And it goes along a path that goes, and it's like a circular path that goes by some landmarks.
Okay.
And if you're going to one of those landmarks, you could choose, and they're all Teslas. And you could choose to
Elon Musk
to get into one of these Teslas,
right,
and have it drive you without anybody there, because with the sensors, with the infrared, with the AI, the cars can 100% calculate for other vehicles or other human beings on the road. And this kind of stuff, and what I was getting to with the hoverboard comment was like, I definitely, more so than ever right now, feel like we are in the future. I'm wondering, like during the early 1900s, 1800s, 1700s, has that always just been a feeling of whatever century, whatever time period you're living in, where you're like, this is the future? Because man's urge to push forward and innovation and everything has always been there, but it seems like right now it is going so quick. And we're getting these things that nobody would think about. I just saw the other day that you can actually buy for, I believe it was $120,000, an actual not a hoverboard. What am I thinking of? What are the Jesus Christ? I can't think of them. The things that fly around outside with the cameras.
Oh, drone.
You could buy a human-sized drone, one passenger, and actually fly that drone. Now, it only flies for 20 minutes, but that's a huge start that drones would be the flying cars. And I've never felt more like I am in the future than I do right now.
Right.
And with this being a paranormal show, and with the thought process of all electronics are able to kind of have the ability with cameras, with video cameras, with sensors, with audio, is kind of a gateway. Would that, if the other side does exist in terms of being able to communicate, with all of these electronics becoming so much more integrated into our livelihood, more so than ever before.
Oh yeah,
everything is electronic.
Right.
Does that open it up even more?
And yeah, you're absolutely right. And a lot too that I look at is, like you said, it's been such a huge jump in technology, especially over the last, even decade. I know it's always been progressively moving forward, but part of, especially what conspiracy theorists think and people who believe in alien technology, could this all potentially possibly be alien technology mixed in with human knowledge? Because look at it like this, okay? You go back to like Roswell, and you look back at everything technical before Roswell, what we had technology-wise. Then all of a sudden that happened. Then the spike in things. Obviously not right away. They're not going to go,
if it was true, you have to backwards engineer it. Yeah.
Right. It's going to take a long time, but now all of a sudden we're getting to where, yes, people, not saying people were dumb back then, but the more technology happens, the more intelligent we get. So we've, in a sense, after all these years, have been able to back engineer it. So now here we are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Are we getting to that point where we're finally catching up and saying, oh, okay, this is how this works. Boom, flying car, or cars driving themselves, or what? Even as simple as the iPhone. Yeah, so
very, very true. 100%.
I sit there and look at that being the starting point of it all.
That is in no way, shape, or form something that is something that has definitely entered my brain,
right,
and made me think Is this how this came about? Because how else do you describe it?
Right. I mean, yeah, there's, again, smart people, but just that quickness in things. I mean, not even saying, oh, it was Roswell. I mean, there's theories out there that we've been in touch and we have special contract with other alien civilizations and have since the 1940s. So, just the little things that they keep coming out with. It's really amazing. And now, like you said, with the human chip thing and being able to take virtual reality and making it our own thoughts, just puts us in a whole nother world.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, so, I mean, I'm sure once something comes out like that, it's going to cost a lot of money. But I did find a way for us to make some extra money. All right, so so there is a firm, we're on this technology kick. There's a firm that will pay you $280,000 to use your face on a robot. So it says, Promobot, which describes itself as a producer of autonomous service robots for business, is certainly no stranger to the field of robotics, having previously featured in the news with its limited, though impressive, IR-77 robot, which looks like something out of a sci-fi movie from the 1980s, as well as its far more realistic Alex robot, which even served as a news anchor on a Russian TV channel. Now the company is looking to take things one step further by creating ultra-realistic robots that will be used to interact with customers in hotels, airports, and shopping centers in countries across the world within as little as 2 years. To this end, the firm is now looking for a human donor who is willing to sign over the rights to their appearance for use as the robot's face for a fee of $280,000. Applicants should have a kind and friendly face and will also need to be over the age of 25. So ugly people, you have no chance, I guess. All genders and races will be considered, so pretty much anyone old enough can apply. The winning applicant will have their face digitally scanned and will need to dictate at least 100 hours of speech material to provide the robot's builders with a copy of their voice. They will also need to sign over the use of their appearance for an unlimited period. Our company is developing technologies in the field of facial recognition as well as speech, autonomous navigation, artificial intelligence, and other areas of robotics. Our new clients want to reach a large-scale project, and as for this, they need to license a new robot appearance to avoid legal delays. So kind of going with like we just talked about, where in our mind we have a chip that can create us a whole nother world for us in the reality world that we live in. But now you also have, this could be, I don't know if this could be a good thing or a bad thing, because they're talking about taking these robots and putting them in places where people need to work. And you want to give like a lousy $280,000 to say, oh, let's use your face and turn you into a robot, but then you're going to take jobs away. I mean, I get it. You don't have to pay them. You pay one fee and whatnot. But this kind of technology, I don't know if it would help, in a sense, the economy or kind of cause it to go under, if kind of get what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I was trying to get your take on it, Mike. I'm sorry. I was seeing what you were thinking.
You got to pull me in.
I'm so sorry.
You got to just say, you got to hit me on the back of the head.
Like I said,
do one of these. Do one of these.
I got to get my rhythm down like Rick did. So.
You got to do one of these.
This is my intro week to it. So
I will leave you out on that ledge as long as you will allow me to, so that I do not interrupt your thought process.
That's all right.
And so that you can get to the points you want to make.
Well, like I said, I'm Rick's got it down. I'm still learning.
I was checking out. Apparently, our video on Facebook is blocked and can't be viewed by others. So I don't know what just happened.
Are you talking about our Facebook?
Our video right now? I'm watching it though.
I was going to say, did Elon Musk?
I have no idea why it got blocked.
I mean, was it the news? Did Elon get mad?
Elon got
I'm sorry.
pissed. Elon got very. We're still live on YouTube. For anybody listening on podcasted version, I
wonder if it's because you said Facebook earlier and you talked about that. How could you talk about the company you're using and then they kick you off? Maybe they didn't like our comments.
I totally don't know. It is very strange. So here's another thing with AI, and I'm sorry to go off your topic.
Oh no.
But with AI, like these social media have AI, and obviously we showed something or said something, that the artificial intelligence, not an actual human being,
Right.
flagged.
So like the algorithm.
That is we call it the algorithm,
Right.
But let's call it what it is: legitimate artificial intelligence that is so intelligent that it can pinpoint out of all the billions and billions of users on Facebook,
Right.
and other social media, the billions and billions that they can pinpoint that you showed a clip or said something that they did not like and pull it immediately.
Could you imagine if Rick's listening right now, or the first thing I'm going to tell him is, well, 30 minutes into taking over, I got us banned from Facebook for that episode. Yeah. So, and I'm just reading news articles. But you're right. I mean, it seems like that's an ongoing thing with technology. I mean, it's already creepy enough. People hated the fact that like Facebook, you know, if you're Googling something, or I'm sorry, sometimes I've even noticed if I just go somewhere, then you go and get on Facebook or even Google, and you get an advertisement for it.
Right.
It's like, or you pass somewhere. I mean, you know, when they say, oh, you know, they're not watching or anything, I don't think they're specifically watching us. But that technology, like you said, it can pick up if we just say one word or hell, in this case, one thought sometimes, and it's just like, oh, draw them to this. I mean, people used to hate subliminal messages. They thought that was a bad thing, but now you can't even search the internet without, you know, something triggering. But if the CIA shows up at my house tonight, I didn't mean no harm. But anyway, but no, again, just this whole topic that we're talking about. I mean, it's amazing that something as big as social media. I mean, have you ever found it creepy when it first started out that all you got to do is take your picture and it knows who you are?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm sorry, if that's not alien technology, I don't know what is. So anyway,
I'm sending the dispute because apparently what we played that they do not like, an MBC has.
Was it that video?
It was the video that we played.
Oh my gosh!
It was the video that we played that they did not like.
Well, maybe they didn't want the world to know yet.
Which is very, very shocking because I got that video from other sources that are playing it on their. It's a whole thing.
But
anyway,
you played it with Rick before, like you said. You played it on
I've
another
played
episode.
it before. I've played it here. We are a paranormal news outlet for all intents and purposes, a news podcast, and to play that as you're discussing it, and not to benefit or monetize it in any way, shape, or form,
right?
Is just crazy for me. But their algorithm, doesn't detect it in that way.
Old Al.
So you know, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Well, maybe we should just get off the topic of technology because.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We'll move on to something. Instead, we'll move on to a woman from New Hampshire who allegedly kept her mother's corpse for months while Social Security payments continued. Now, if you're that desperate for money and can't go get a job at McDonald's, I don't know what's wrong with you. But anyway, a New Hampshire woman allegedly kept her mother's corpse hidden in her room for nearly 6 months as Social Security checks continued to be deposited in the dead woman's bank account. Kimberly Heller, 54, was arrested on November 18th and charged with the abuse of a corpse, the Bedford Police Department said Friday in a news release. Police first responded to the home on October 24th after her family requested a welfare check for her mother, whom they had not seen for several months, according to the release. However, no one was home at the time. When officers returned the next day, police said Heller refused to let them inside. Police returned with a search warrant and discovered her mother's dead body. An autopsy later determined that Heller's mother died of natural causes just days before Memorial Day in May. Investigators also learned that during the nearly 6 months that Heller hid her mother's corpse, her mother's Social Security payments were still being deposited into the bank. Police said that they alerted the Federal Social Security Admission Office of the Inspector General, wow, the names of these organizations, and are coordinating with the agency's investigation. Heller is expected to be arraigned on January 6th. Like I said, I mean, Unfortunately, though, this is not the first time you hear stories like this. I mean, I've seen documentaries. I've seen, like, unsolved mysteries where people will even go as far as falling in love with a corpse. Or
I've seen that.
I mean, I get it. If you're in love, you know, and unfortunately you lose that loved one, whether it's, you know, spouse or family member, whatever the case is, but to actually then keep that person there, I mean, in this case, it must have been money, but I mean, that's some serious problems right there. I mean, I think she'd probably try to go for insanity, but she'll be in a mental institution the rest of her life, I guess.
It's mind-boggling when I hear about this kind of stuff.
And not to mention when you to live with just like the smell alone. I mean, I've been in the EMS field. I mean, I've unfortunately responded to calls where bodies have been there for weeks. And when I think of months that a body was just I mean, I couldn't even imagine. So, and all that just to keep getting a Social Security check, which I'm sure, you know, it's not like it was worth millions. That's just, I don't know, it's a little much.
Money makes people do, and we've all seen it, not to this degree, but money makes people do insane things.
Yeah.
To extremes, you know, faking. I remember the person who faked giving a homeless guy $20 or something because the GoFundMe, faking.
That's
right. All different kinds of things. Faking GoFundMes and
it's sick almost.
It's 100% sick.
Yeah.
I mean, stealing. I'm stealing from, like, you know, charities and stuff like that. People do whatever they can for money. Especially
nowadays. I mean, I feel like every year I read something about where people will go pretend to be a charity in front of, like, Walmart, or like you go see Salvation Army, always with the bell. I mean, people will just set that up. I mean, come up with fake papers and get money off of it.
Make a lot of money,
and they get away with it.
Oh my God, the homeless people, quote homeless people that aren't really homeless and stand on the side of the road, make hundreds of dollars a day.
Oh yeah.
For the people that, and I say people because we've heard of this multiple times, whether it's a serial killer that keeps the bodies, or a family member that keeps the bodies, or the killer itself. I mean, I just saw a story the other day on social media where the mother and father killed their 5-year-old son and left the body in the house with the other kids still playing. And it's very, very sad and very mental.
Right.
But like with these situations where, whether it's kids, adults, the elderly, and you just kind of leave them there hoping the problem will go away.
Right.
It begs me to question the whole idea of, like, haunting someone. Because if your body is in the household, and that is where you died, I would think that if you had the ability, like my dad before he passed away, like, half jokingly said, if there's a way for me to interact with you from the other side, I'm going to do that. It's kind of like Houdini said the same thing,
right?
Yeah. They say this, but you would think if there was any kind of perfect storm for that to happen, one of these scenarios would be it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, Houdini's wife tried for many, many years to, I mean, she didn't tell anybody what it was. I mean, I think she even went to the grave.
I think she did,
with what it was, which is what he requested. And people claimed all the time, I know what it is, but no one ever got it right.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, and that's 100% the purest way to do that. I mean, the skeptical side of it, if you are somebody who you're going to pass away, and you kind of, it's kind of like a charades thing or a game thing,
right?
Where you give your significant other the passcode,
right?
Per se, so that if your significant other does ever go to, a psychic or a seance, or somebody says that they contacted your dead relative, what's the passcode?
Right.
what's the passcode?
That is the most generic way, the most simplest way to do it.
What's the passcode? It's like what's your safe word?
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. What's your death safe word?
Your
But
death safe word.
And you get that. I can't tell you how many people. I mean, I've even investigated for people who believe their loved one was, in a sense, haunting their home or wherever I was investigating, who would say, after reviewing the evidence, looking out, they wouldn't tell me what it was, but looking out for something specific. Then they would explain to me, well, it's because that we were told, we made this like little arrangement before they passed that if I make contact with you, I'm going to say a certain phrase.
Yeah.
I've never had it happen. Of course, I'm not a psychic and I'm not trying to reach out. I'm using it scientifically in a sense, but I mean, you hear that a lot. I mean, Melly and her dad, before he passed away, they had an agreement, like a kind of an arrangement like that. So yeah, it's very common.
It is.
Especially when you're believing that kind of stuff.
I mean, 100%. If I was going to, if I knew that I was going to pass away, I would tell every person a different
I know. Oh, me
a different
too.
word.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, okay, I'll form out a sentence. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to tell 5 people. All together, you form this 5 sentence, and I'll tell
you.
It,
give them an ad. Yeah. It's like an ad lib where they each have a word in the sentence.
I'll really mess with them. I'll be like, I have a secret fortune, and the sentence will tell you where it is. Drive them nuts.
All right, Schwartz.
Yeah, right. But it's funny that that came up because here, this story I have. All right, so this whole Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie.
Yes.
First of all, let me tell you, much like everybody else, it really, when I first found out, Melly and her kids, like, they were on it, and I didn't even know what was going on until finally I'm like, what are y'all talking about? And they explained to me, I mean, this was before the Brian Laundrie thing, but as you know, this is like the biggest, you got 2 people who went off in a van life to do exploring, to go on social media, and then they both are just, all said and done, end up dead. I mean, there's so many theories behind it and whatnot, but, with that being said, one of the things that Melly and I looked up one day was how many psychics out there are going on YouTube or something trying to claim that they have the answer as to what happened. I cannot tell you how many we found. Well, this in particular story I came across. Now, TikTok is not something that I've mastered or even tried to master yet. I mean,
gotta get on that bandwagon.
I'm still trying to figure out Instagram. I mean, they say that's Facebook for illiterate people. I'm still trying to figure that out, taking pictures and posting it. But anyway, so there's these TikTok psychics who are actually claiming to channel Gabby Petito, but it's backlashed on them.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, it says self-proclaimed psychics on TikTok are taking heat for disseminating conspiracy theories regarding the killing of Gabby Petito, which critics claim is a sick ploy to cash in on the nationwide fascination with the case. A search of medium Gabby Petito yields dozens of these so-called social media mediums, one who claim they can communicate with the dead, giving their 2 cents on the 22-year-old Long Island native's death, which has now been ruled a homicide. Skip ahead because it's just telling the story about Brian Laundrie, all that. In one clip with over 850,000 views, TikTok oracle Kelly Farrow, known as Kelly the Magical Medium, on the platform.
Love her name.
Yeah. She said that she was channeling Gabby Petito, but spelled Petito, P-A-T-I-T-O. She spelled it Pat Tito when it's actually P-E-T-I-T-O.
That's great.
Psychically during the search. The now private video was recorded on September 13th when Petito was still reported to be missing. His energy does not feel like a killer. This is where I guess she was channeling his location and whether he's alive. So she said his energy does not feel like a killer. And hold on, my phone's acting all. Okay.
No. Now they're getting us through the phone.
I know, right. During the somewhat discombobulated rant. I do feel like he was working on himself. I do feel like he had a hot temper, but I don't think he purposely killed her. She then appears to contradict herself, stating, that being said, I do feel like he took her life, and it's very interesting because I feel like he almost had to take her life because in his logical mind, that was the right thing to do.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it would have possibly prevented him from getting into more trouble. The medium added, I know this is vivid and sad. I really hope they find her. Another video with 1 million views posted around the same time. She shows fellow spirit whisperer, Kelsey Davies, using her gifts to consult her doll, Lola, about the then missing persons case. Lola, do you think Gabby is okay? The psychic asked, to which recorded voice responds with a static utterance that Davies interprets as no. I'm sending so much positivity to her family and friends, and I really hope that they can have closure soon. The misfortune teller tells her 3.6 million viewers. 2 days later, authorities discover her Petito's remains in Wyoming. The psychics have been blasted by online critics who have accused them by baselessly claiming insight on yet-to-be-uncovered details of the case so they can rank up millions of views. So, now, of course, like I said, there are tons. But I've actually seen people are charging money to people. Like, they're actually, like, saying, if you want to know about what happened with the Petito laundry case, pay me this and we can have us, like, I don't know if they're using it as an advertisement ploy or if they're just trying to put some kind of, I don't know, way to just draw them in. But either way, I mean, it's bad enough. I mean, obviously, and Jean, who's a psychic medium, she'll even tell you like 90 to 95% of anybody who claims that they're psychic or a medium are false. I mean, look at, I forget her name, but before Monica Lewinsky, one woman who was on trial with Bill Clinton, she actually all of a sudden became this celebrity psychic medium who followed a script. People would call her, and she did these. I forget her name off the top of my head, but anyway, like it's like one day people wake up and say, "Let me charge money." Well, now they're using a case like this and all this stuff. But I'm telling you, we watched a bunch of them, and every single one of them just had something different. And the fact of the matter is, nobody's ever going to know what happened with this. I mean, they talk about he had a journal. Honestly, it's so. In fact, it's funny. I mean, if Melly's listening, I'm going to share her theory. She believes that they enjoyed choking and everything while being intimate, and it just happened. Like, he accidentally did it. Like, you know, they were having sex, and he choked her a little too hard, and was like, oh shit, Mom and Dad, we were having sex, and I killed her.
That's I mean, that's a possibility, but right. They also were pulled over for domestic violence.
Well, right, and then that's the thing, like, you see so many, like, I'm sorry, I've seen the video, and I don't know how you can have so many, yes, they're experts in their field, but how can you take one video and all of a sudden claim how a person is?
I totally agree. I 100% agree.
I'm not saying that, oh, no, he wasn't, because I don't know, obviously. I'm not in that field or whatnot, but they seem to have this entire guy's, the way he's thinking, like the way he has his hands. I mean, if people are watching me, I always talk with my hands. Does that mean I'll watch out for him? Because he's going to choke somebody one day.
It does, actually, 100%.
I'm going to choke somebody one day. Okay.
Yes, you are on a list.
That's why the video went down, because they were watching my hand movements.
Your hand movements signaled somebody out there, and the algorithm got the signal loud and clear and said, oh, shit.
You know what? That's the thing. I'm going to make like a shirt that says, I hate Al, and on the back, Algorithm. Big name. That'll be a new cartoon.
Brilliant.
We're on to something.
All right.
We're going to make it.
But anybody that paid attention to that whole thing and saw that it was how much of a money grab it was. Oh. I mean, Doug the Bounty Hunter got involved. So
he was knocking on their door. He was on his honeymoon or something, and he was like knocking on their door and whatnot, trying to get answers.
So that's how much of a money grab it was.
It is. I mean, they're spending millions of freaking dollars still trying to search for him. Yet all these people claiming, oh, we saw him. We have video of this. Come to find out the dude was rotting dead in a swamp.
In a swamp. But
anyway, so with that being said, it's funny how much time goes by when you're talking about technology and the CIA is watching our show. But hey, it's nice.
Because of your hands.
CIA, FBI, those watching, thanks for tuning in. I will say that. But anyway, so real quick before we go, what's new with Toxic? Is there anything update with Toxic going on?
I can't think of any major updates.
It is the end of the year, of course.
It's the end of the year. We're kind of winding down
Right.
at Toxic. We've got right now our Toxic Kick-Ass Christmas going on, which Tuesday through Sunday, all the rockin', hard rock and heavy metal, and then Monday it's punk rock Christmas.
Nice.
We've got a lot of things to be grateful for this year in terms of Toxic Radio and the links that we've come over the past 2 years.
Just look at what we're around. I mean,
yeah, and
like
I will tell you this: we've got a lot more coming after the New Year's, and we'll probably have this same discussion right before the New Year. So I don't want to dwell on it, but nothing really coming up. Just pay attention to the shows. Download the app, available on Google and Apple, and check out the new sites.
Yeah,
that's about
definitely.
it.
Awesome. And I will say, because I haven't seen you since then, because, with everything, I'm not used to these mics yet, by the way. I got to get used to these new mics. But no, from what I've seen, I guess it's been a month now, that the tailgate, was a huge hit. I know it's been a while, but like I said, I haven't seen you since then, the Eagles tailgate when they played the Chargers. But we were supposed to go. In fact, Rick and I were supposed to go to the game. Melly and I ended up going, and we couldn't make it there. But I see that it was just a huge turnout, and everything went great.
Huge turnout.
Yeah.
Gave away a bunch of prizes. Gave away a bunch of zip-up hoodies, Toxic zip-up hoodies, Toxic T-shirts. Everybody loved it. We had Swoop come by our tailgate, which was really cool, and everybody had a great time. And another successful Toxic Radio outing. And I was just talking to the guys just last week about how con season's going to be coming up in the spring.
Yes.
And how we used to go to Comic-Cons all the time, and we want to start doing that again. So be on the lookout for when we're going to be at Comic-Cons, horror cons, or any other con you can swing
the condom
stick at. Whoa, yeah.
I'm going to make a con that way. Anyway, so with Paradelphia, of course, check us out on Facebook and social media. Also, my paranormal team, Jersey Unique Minds, Paranormal Society, Jumps team on Facebook and all that with updates. Like I said, it's coming up to the end of the year, so we're just kind of winding things down. But like I said, next week I'll be back with Jen and Gene will be joining me in studio next week, and we'll do a little Christmas special. But until then, as I said, Rick, if you're tuning in, everybody pray for Rick that he gets better. He comes back healthy and in his captain's chair, so you don't have to just hear me. But other than that, I want to thank everybody for listening, tuning in. Mike, thanks for helping me not talk to myself. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good week, and I'll be back next week. And as for Paradelphia, this is Doug Hogate, and good night.